Most people have no idea that a single plumbing mistake, something that takes 5 minutes to do wrong, can end up costing thousands of dollars in damage. The good news is that once you know what to watch for, most of these disasters are completely preventable. After 3 decades of fixing what homeowners accidentally break, I have seen every one of these mistakes more times than I can count. Today, I am walking you through 20 costly plumbing blunders that drain your wallet. Stick around for number 16 because it is one almost everybody gets wrong, and do not miss the bonus tip at the end. The first horrible mistake that costs homeowners big money is ignoring a running toilet. You know that faint hissing sound coming from the bathroom that you have been tuning out for weeks? That is the sound of money literally going down the drain. A running toilet can waste up to 200 gallons of water every single day. Over the course of a year, that can add hundreds or even over $1,000 to your water bill. The fix is almost always a worn-out flapper valve or a faulty fill valve, and either one costs less than $15 at the hardware store. You pop the tank lid off, take a look inside, and 9 times out of 10, you can swap the part yourself in under 20 minutes. Do not let that quiet little hiss become a loud bill. The second mistake I see constantly is using the wrong pipe connections. This one is sneaky because everything looks fine on the outside while corrosion eats away on the inside. The most common version of this is connecting copper pipe directly to galvanized steel without a proper dielectric union or brass fitting in between. When 2 different metals touch each other in the presence of water, you get something called galvanic corrosion. The joint slowly deteriorates, and eventually you end up with pinhole leaks inside your walls, where you cannot see them. By the time you notice the water stain on the ceiling, you could be looking at anywhere from $500 to $5,000 in damage. Always use the correct transition fitting when joining dissimilar metals. A $2 fitting now saves a fortune later. The third mistake on our list is over-tightening fittings and connections. I completely understand the instinct. You want that connection to be snug so it does not leak, so you give it one more turn for good measure. But that extra turn is exactly what cracks the fitting, strips the threads, or warps the washer inside. Plastic fittings on toilet supply lines are especially vulnerable. I have seen brand new supply lines crack right at the nut because someone cranked down on them with pliers instead of stopping when they felt resistance. The rule of thumb is hand tight plus a quarter turn with a wrench. That is it. Let the washer or the tape do the sealing work, not brute force. By the way, if you're finding this advice helpful, you should know it's just a small sample of what I've put into my new guide, The Ultimate Plumbing Playbook. It's packed with step-by-step instructions for hundreds of repairs that can save you thousands. To grab your copy, you can scan the QR code on the screen right now, or just use the first link in the description below. All right, let's continue. The fourth mistake that catches people off guard is pouring grease down the drain. It goes down as a warm liquid, so it seems harmless. But as soon as that grease hits the cooler pipes further down the line, it solidifies. Over time, it builds up layer after layer, narrowing your drain until nothing gets through. Worse, it can combine with other debris and create what the industry calls a fatberg, a massive blockage deep in your sewer line. Getting that cleared professionally can run anywhere from $300 to over $5,000, especially if the line needs to be excavated. Instead, pour your cooking grease into an old can or jar, let it cool, and toss it in the trash. The fifth mistake people make is using chemical drain cleaners on a regular basis. I know those products promise a quick fix, and sometimes they do clear a minor clog temporarily. But here is what the label does not tell you. Those harsh chemicals generate heat inside your pipes. They can soften PVC joints, corrode older metal pipes, and eat away at the rubber seals and gaskets in your drain assemblies. Use them once in a blue moon for a minor clog, maybe. But if you're reaching for that bottle every month, you're slowly destroying your plumbing from the inside out. A simple drain snake or a wet and dry vacuum does the job without the chemical damage. The sixth mistake is not knowing where your main shutoff valve is located. This one does not cost you a dime until the moment it costs you everything. When a pipe bursts or a fitting blows, you have minutes to stop the water before your floors, walls, and belongings are soaked. If you are running around the house in a panic trying to find the shutoff, the damage multiplies with every passing second. Right now, before you do anything else today, go find your main shutoff valve. It is usually near the front of the house where the water line enters, or near the water meter. Turn it once to make sure it works. That 30-second task could save you tens of thousands of dollars. The seventh mistake that breaks my heart every time is ignoring small leaks. A tiny drip under the kitchen sink does not seem urgent. But water is patient and relentless. That small drip is quietly soaking into your cabinet floor, encouraging mold growth and weakening the subfloor beneath it. I have opened up cabinets on service calls and found wood so rotted I could push my fingers straight through it. What would have been a $10 repair, maybe a new washer or a tightened connection, turned into thousands of dollars in mold remediation and structural repair. If you see a drip, fix it today, not next weekend. The eighth mistake is using too much force on a stuck shutoff valve. In older homes, shutoff valves under sinks and behind toilets can go years without being touched. Mineral deposits build up inside and the handle feels frozen. Your first instinct might be to grab a pair of pliers and force it, but that is exactly how you snap the valve stem or crack the valve body, and now you have got a geyser in your bathroom with no way to stop it except the main shutoff. Instead, try applying a few drops of penetrating oil around the valve stem. Let it sit for 15 to 20 minutes. Then gently work the handle back and forth with increasing pressure. Patience saves pipes. The ninth mistake is leaving garden hoses connected during winter. When freezing temperatures arrive, the water trapped inside a connected hose can freeze and expand backward into the hose bib and the pipe behind it. That expansion cracks the pipe inside your wall. But you will not know it until spring when you turn the water back on and it floods into your home. The damage from a burst pipe inside a wall can easily reach $5,000 to $10,000. Before the first freeze, disconnect all outdoor hoses. Drain them. And if you have interior shutoffs for your hose bibs, close those too. The 10th mistake on our list is misusing plumber's tape, also known as Teflon tape. It seems like such a simple thing, but there are two ways people get this wrong. First, they wrap it in the wrong direction, so it unravels as they thread the fitting on. You always wrap clockwise when you are looking at the open end of the fitting. Second, people use Teflon tape on compression fittings or rubber sealed connections where it does not belong and actually interferes with the seal. Teflon tape is designed for tapered pipe threads only. Using it correctly on the right connections prevents leaks. Using it incorrectly causes them. The 11th mistake is not venting drain lines properly. Every drain in your home needs a vent pipe that connects to the open air, usually through your roof. Without proper venting, draining water creates a vacuum in the pipe that sucks the water right out of your traps. Those traps are what keep sewer gas from coming up into your living space. If your drains are gurgling, running slowly even after cleaning, or you smell something foul coming from a sink, there is a good chance you have a venting issue. Retrofitting vents after the fact can cost $1,000 to $5,000, depending on your home's layout. So getting it right during any remodel is critical. The 12th mistake is joining copper and galvanized steel pipes directly without a transition fitting. I mentioned galvanic corrosion earlier, and this deserves its own spot because of how often I see it. In homes built before the 1980s, galvanized steel was the standard. When homeowners or even some handymen add new copper lines, they sometimes thread them right into the old galvanized fittings. Within a few years, that joint is corroding badly. The proper fix is a brass dielectric union or a special push-fit transition coupling rated for dissimilar metals. It adds maybe $5 to the job and prevents thousands in hidden damage. The 13th mistake is setting your water heater temperature too high. Most manufacturers ship water heaters set to 140 degrees Fahrenheit, but the Department of Energy recommends 120 degrees. That 20-degree difference matters. At 140 degrees, you risk scalding. Especially dangerous for grandchildren or anyone with sensitive skin. You are also wasting energy heating water hotter than you need, and the higher temperature accelerates sediment buildup and tank corrosion, shortening the life of your heater. Check your water heater's thermostat dial today and turn it down to 120. It is free and pays for itself immediately. The 14th mistake is using the wrong size pipe or fittings. Plumbing is not a place for guessing or eyeballing it. A 3/4-inch supply line and a 1/2-inch supply line look pretty similar sitting on the shelf. But putting the wrong one in your system creates pressure problems, flow restrictions, and potential code violations. I have seen homeowners grab whatever looks close enough at the store and force connections together with extra tape or compound. It might hold for a while, but it will fail. Always measure, always verify, and when in doubt, bring the old part to the store and match it exactly. The 15th mistake is not using a drip pan under your water heater. Whether your water heater sits in a garage, a utility closet, or especially on an upper floor, a drain pan underneath it is cheap insurance. A basic aluminum drip pan costs around $15 to $20. If the tank ever develops a slow leak or the pressure relief valve releases water, that pan catches it and routes it to a drain instead of letting it soak into your floor. For water heaters on upper floors, skipping the pan is gambling with the entire ceiling below. It takes 5 minutes to install during a water heater replacement. There's no excuse to skip it. The 16th mistake is flushing things that should never be flushed. This goes way beyond the obvious. So-called flushable wipes are the biggest offender. Despite what the packaging says, those wipes do not break down like toilet paper. They snag on pipe joints, accumulate in your sewer line, and create blockages that require professional snaking or even excavation. Feminine products, cotton swabs, dental floss, and paper towels all cause the same problems. The only things that should go down your toilet are human waste and toilet paper. Everything else goes in the trash. A single sewer line excavation can cost $3,000 to $7,000. That is an expensive lesson for a so-called flushable wipe. The 17th mistake is over-tightening a toilet to the floor. When a toilet wobbles, the natural reaction is to crank down on the closet bolts. But toilets are made of porcelain, and porcelain does not flex. It cracks. I have watched homeowners tighten one bolt too far and heard that sickening snap. That means the entire base is ruined. A wobbling toilet usually means the wax ring has compressed or the flange is uneven. The proper fix is to pull the toilet, replace the wax ring, and shim the base if needed before snugging the bolts just until the toilet is stable. No more. The 18th mistake is skipping permits on major plumbing work. I get it. Permits cost money and take time. But they exist for a reason. Permitted work gets inspected, which means a second set of professional eyes confirms everything is safe and up to code. If you ever sell your home, unpermitted plumbing work can kill the deal or force you to tear everything out and redo it. Insurance companies can also deny claims related to unpermitted work. For small repairs like swapping a faucet, you do not need a permit, but for anything involving new drain lines, rerouting supply pipes, or water heater installation, check with your local building department first. The 19th mistake is using push-fit fittings in inaccessible locations. Push-fit fittings like Shark Bite are fantastic for quick repairs in accessible spots. They are easy to use and they work. But they have rubber O-rings inside that can degrade over time, and they are more likely to fail than a properly soldered joint or a crimped PEX connection. If you use one inside a finished wall or above a sealed ceiling, you are betting that it will never leak in a place where you cannot see it or reach it. When it does fail, you are tearing out drywall to get to it. Use push-fit fittings where you can see them and reach them. For anything behind a wall, use a permanent connection method. The 20th and final mistake on our list is relying on online videos without understanding the why behind the steps. Now I realize there is some irony in saying this on a video, but hear me out. Watching someone complete a repair is valuable, but if you are just copying motions without understanding why each step matters, you are going to run into trouble the moment your situation differs even slightly from what you watched. Plumbing is about understanding how water flows, how pressure works, and how your local codes apply to your specific home. Take the time to learn the principles behind the procedures. Ask why, not just how. That understanding is what separates a confident DIYer from someone who creates a bigger problem than the one they started with. And now for the bonus tip that professional plumbers swear by. Before you start any plumbing project, even a simple faucet swap, take a photo of everything with your phone before you disconnect a single thing. Photograph the connections, the valve positions, the orientation of parts, and any labels or model numbers you can see. I cannot tell you how many times a homeowner has called me in a panic because they took something apart and cannot remember how it went back together. That photo costs you nothing and takes 10 seconds, but it becomes your personal instruction manual for reassembly. Professionals do this on every job, and it has saved me more times than I care to admit. Make it a habit, and you will thank yourself every single time. Before you go, I want to make sure you know about my complete guide, the Ultimate Plumbing Playbook. It goes way deeper than we can in a single video, with 85 pages covering everything from clearing any clog to replacing your own water heater. If you want to stop wasting money on simple fixes, this book is for you. Just scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description to get your copy. Thanks for watching. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one.